write in standard form a plus bi. So we have a product of 8 minus 3i and 6 minus 5i. We just multiply, so just distribute FOIL. 8 times 6, 8 times 5i minus 3i times 6 minus 3i times minus 5i. Okay, so we get 8 times 6, 8 times 6 48, 8 times negative 5i, negative 8 times 5 40i, minus 3i times 6 minus 18i, minus minus plus 3i times 5i, 3 times 5 15i square. Okay, I times I square. By the way, I square is negative 1, so 15 times negative 1 plus 15 times negative 1, so this is 15 times negative 1, negative 15. Okay, so we get 48 minus 15, so that's 33, and in the middle we have two terms, negative 40i minus 18i, both negative, so we can add negative 40 and 18, so 58i. Okay, that's it. Next, in 13, write in standard form a plus bi. So basically we are subtracting this complex number from this. Okay, so let's get rid of parentheses. There is nothing to distribute, so this is 6 minus 13i is minus, and nothing there means is 1, so we need to distribute negative 1. Okay, so negative 1 times negative 9, negative negative positive 9, negative 1 times 7i, negative 7i. Now we combine the numbers, and I 6 plus 9 15, negative 13i minus 7i, negative 13 minus 7, negative 20i. Final. Write in standard form root 3 minus 10i squared. That square means we multiply this by itself, so root 3 minus 10i times itself, root 3 minus 10i. Okay, just distribute FOIL. Root 3 times root 3, 10i, negative 10i, negative 10i, 10i. Okay, root 3 times root 3, root 9, which is 3. Okay, when you multiply root 3 times root 3, we get root 9. 3 times 3 9, same root, so that's 3. Root 3 times 10i, his minus sign, minus 10 and root 3, so we have to write both, 10 root 3 I. Okay, now negative 10i times root 3, negative positive negative 10 root 3, both of them I. Negative negative positive 10 times 10 100, I times I square, and we know I square is negative 1, so 100 times negative 1, so this is negative 100. Now we get, let me write over here, equals, this is 3 minus 100, that's negative 97. In the middle, negative 10 root 3i minus 10 root 3i. So how many of them? So minus 10 minus 10, so minus 20 root 3i. Okay, so this is a plus bi form. Now number 15, it says write the conjugate of the complex number g. Here's the g, then conjugate g bar will be, we just change the sign of middle, so 7 minus 4i, the conjugate is 7 plus 4i. Okay, and next find g times g bar. Okay, then g times g bar, there is no sign, means multiply, equals, we multiply g, which is 7 minus 4i times 7 plus 4i. Okay, just distribute we get 7 times 7 49, 7 times 4i plus 28i minus 4 times 7 minus 28i minus plus minus 4i times 4i 16i square. And by the way, I square is -1, so this is -16 times -1, so that would be plus 16. -16 times -1 plus 16, and we get 49 plus 16, so 695 65, and plus 28i minus 28i, they cancel, so just 65. Number 16, write the quotient in the standard form a plus bi. Basically we are dividing this complex number by another complex number. For we multiply, okay, top and bottom by the conjugate of bottom. Okay, so we need to multiply by the conjugate of bottom. 8 minus I, the conjugate of bottom is 8 plus I, so we multiply by 8 plus I over 8 plus I. Okay, so that equals, so we need to FOIL the top, FOIL the bottom. Just let me write here, 3 minus 6i times 8 plus I on the top. We could have FOILed and not write this step. 8 minus I times 8 plus I. Okay, in the next step, let me FOIL the bottom first. 8 times 8, 8 times plus I times negative I times 8, negative I times I. So we get 8 times 8, 64, 8i minus 8 minus I 8, so minus 8i minus plus minus I square. Okay, on the top same thing, we just distribute. Okay, we get 3 times 8 24, 3 times I plus 3i, negative 6i times 8, 8 times 6 48i, negative 48i, and negative positive negative 6i times I 6i square. Now we use the fact that I square is -1, so negative of -1, so this is +1. Here's negative 6 times I square is -1, negative 6 times -1, negative 6 times -1, so +6. We get 24 plus 6, that's 30, plus 3i minus 48i, this is negative, this is positive. Subtract 48 minus 3 is 45, so negative 45i over 8i cancel, 64 plus 1 65. Now we need to write this in the standard form, so separate into two fractions. So 30 over 65 minus 45 over 65 I here. Now we need to put in their lowest terms. 5 divides 6 times. Okay, so 5 goes 6 times, 5 goes 13 times, 5 goes 9 times, 5 goes 13 times. So we get 6 over 13 minus 9 over 13, I on the top, but we write here just to put in the form a plus bi. Okay, and number 17, I raised to 54. We know I raised to 0 is 1, I raised to 1 is just I raised to 2 is -1, and I raised to 3 is -I. Okay, and all others just repeat one of them. So for this, all we have to do is divide 54 by 4 and look at the remainder. Okay, so let's divide 54 by 4. Okay, here's a calculator. 54 divided by 4, so we get 13.5. 0.5, that's 0.5 is the remainder, that means 2 in fact. So here's the case. Okay, so when you need to divide by 4, divide the exponent by 4, and when you get no remainder, okay, that means 1. If you get remainder, no means decimal 0, nothing, decimal 25, remainder, that's I, decimal 5, remainder, decimal 5, that means 2 remainder, 0 remainder, 1 remainder, 2 remainder, and 3 remainder. Okay, there is no 4 because we are dividing by 4. Then 0.5, -1. In our case, what we did was we divided 54 by 4, we got 13.5. 0.5 here, so it's like I squared. I squared is -1, so this is simply -1. Done. Let's go 18. Same thing, divide 15 by 4. Okay, so divide 15 by 4. 15 divided by 4 is 3.75. okay, 0.75, that means I cubed, which is -I. So this is -I, so this is -I plus 8. We need to write in standard form, so 8 minus I.